Fizdale was an assistant in Miami when LeBron was there. He was asked if LeBron has a future in coaching. Let's take a listen.
No, he would kill somebody. Perfection is like, he wants perfection, and I could see him actually owning his own team and doing something like that, but I think he would end up killing a player at some point because they wouldn't live up to the expectations that he would set forth.
Yeah, he's a little right. He got something to it. I don't have my patience. Is not. You got to be very patient as a coach. I don't think I have that much patience. Not that much.
Oh, those were the good old days, Fizdale and LeBron and Miami.
Oh, don't you say nothing about the
good old days. Good old days.
And she's saying they were great.
Enjoy them 6 wins you got right now.
Skip, will LeBron make a good coach?
I believe LeBron James would make a great coach if he chose to be a great coach. I don't think he would ever choose that career path, but I could be wrong about that. I do think that LeBron ultimately want to own a team or change the world in some other ways, but there's a chance he would get removed from basketball 5, 6, 7 years and say, you know what? I'm not happy not being around basketball on a daily basis. And he might try at some point later in his entrepreneurial career to say, you know what, I'm going to try coaching. And if he did, I believe he would be great at it because his basketball IQ to me is right there with the great Magic Johnsons. I don't know, it's hard to quantify that, but I keep telling you, LeBron is still the best passer in basketball. I think he's the best point, whatever you want to call him, forward. Whatever he is. When he decides to be, he's the best point guard in basketball. Nobody has the passing gift or the IQ that he has playing the game today. So I think that would translate. And I disagree with Fizdale about LeBron want to kill somebody. Look, LeBron's got a big heart. He just does. I say this all the time, maybe to a fault. Sometimes I want him to have a little more killer will in him, but he's got a big, good heart. And I think he is more patient than he's given himself credit for because he's been coaching this team for a long time. The Cavaliers, he coaches the Cavaliers. I don't care what you say. He has final say. On substitutions, he's the guy who's going to pull people aside and say, you need to do this or try that. And I believe he could do that. Now, back in the Heat days on Mario Chalmers, I think he was hard on, as he called him, Rio. Remember that?
Yes.
In fact, he was brutally hard. So was Dwayne Wade. But it worked because Mario rose to the challenge. He took the criticism correctly. And I can remember some games, against Oklahoma City when they went home and just blew them away. Remember, was it game, I'm losing track, 4 maybe of that series? Mario just went crazy in the fourth quarter. Didn't he score like
Mario bleeping Chalmers?
Right? You got it. So he responded to the brutal criticism from both LeBron and Dwayne Wade. And again, I think LeBron would know which buttons to push on which players. So I don't know. Who was the only one who was successful as a coach, really? The great was Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. But, Lenny Wilkins, but he wasn't a greater player as Larry Bird was. Casey Jones wasn't as a greater player as Larry Bird.
They were.
You're talking about all-time great players. Larry Bird tried it. Magic Johnson tried it. Isaiah tried it.
Okay. But why did Larry Bird work as a coach? This is my 2 cents from a distance. Larry Bird was the greatest overachiever ever. He was not as gifted as some other players.
He didn't run fast.
In fact, I'll never forget, I was at the Final Four, 1979, Salt Lake City, and I would go hang around the hospitality suites run by the Cowboys, Gil Brandt. All the college coaches, all the greats would be there. And all the cocktail hour chatter was about how Larry Bird will not be able to make it at the next level, the NBA level, I heard it over and over, too slow-footed. Well, he was slow-footed. He figured it out, because he had that. And he could get it up and you couldn't block it because he shot it way back over his head. And he had great instincts, IQ, and he had a killer will. So he could just out-tough you, out-mental toughness you. He would figure out how to beat you. And he was a great passer in and of himself. So he could figure out how to translate that to overachieving basketball players or players, but he probably was coaching some players who had as much or more talent than Larry Bird did. He worked, and he was coach of the year in '98, I recall, and he got to 3 straight conference championships and got to 1 finals. So he was pretty good at it. I don't know if he's been the greatest GM executive, but he could coach.
No, I don't believe LeBron could do it because of the very reason he said, patience. Because everything that LeBron has done on the basketball court has really become easy. See, the greatest players have the most ability and work the hardest. You see, Michael Jordan, could fly, but he was so hardworking. The Kobe Bryant, the LeBron James, it comes so easy.
Yeah.
They look at somebody that's like, why can't you do that?
Yeah.
You see, if he's a coach and somebody's not doing something, there's nothing else he can do. See, if Kyrie is not doing it right, guess what he gonna say? Kyrie, give me the ball. Now he controls it again. As a coach, you control nothing. I asked John Elway, my former quarterback, I was like, man, you don't want to coach? He said, T, that's what nickname. He's like, I got no patience. He said, I want to build. I want to put people in place, let someone else coach it. He said, but I have no patience. He has no patience. Everything comes so easy to him, for him. And you heard Fizdale, perfection. And coaches know there's no such thing.
Yeah.
Mike Singletary had the hardest time because he thought everybody should see it like he did. Everybody should want it like he did. Everybody should work as hard as he did. But you got 53 men from different areas, different backgrounds. Who do I pat on the back? Who do I kick in the butt? Who do I hug? All that goes into being a coach. It's hard. It's hard, Skip. And people ask me, I don't have any patience. Because I would look at guys and, okay, run the route. I'm like, dude, run the route. He said, 10 to 12, run it. And they run it again. I'm like, dude, what is it? Just count your steps then. If you can't get 10 to 12 in your head, just count steps. And it's so frustrating. I couldn't imagine. And that's just my group. Imagine as a head coach where you're responsible for the point guard, the forwards. No, I just don't see how being as meticulous as he is, as perfectionist as he is, if you look at the way he dresses, if you look at the way he talks, everything is prepared, everything is well thought out. I just don't see it. I do not see him being a head coach. There's no way like Coach Fizdale said, I can see him like putting his hands on somebody like, bro, y'all done told you this many times, do not do this. And it's hard, Skip. It is hard. I mean, I was never the player that LeBron was. I worked as hard, if not harder. But he had a lot more God-given ability. But I have no patience, Skip. But you have to know that about yourself. Everybody, and some people think because, well, you notice how some trainers, they look good, they can get themselves in shape, but they can't train you. They can't make it translate. I think that's LeBron. He can, like when he's on the court, he can move the pieces around, but all of a sudden he's the head coach and the pieces are not going where he thinks they should or what he's instructed them to do. That's going to cause a problem with him.
For once, I think you are underestimating your man, LeBron James. If he put his mind to this, he could definitely do it. And I still say he's been doing it for David Blatt and Ty Lue over the last few years in Cleveland, Ohio.
Just think about it, Skip. When he throws a pass in the corner and he expects J.R. or Shump to be in the corner and they're not there and the ball sails out of bounds, what does he do? Can you imagine?
He tells him about it.
Exactly.
Just the way he would as a coach.
So just
you don't think he pulls JR aside
Yeah.
every other night and says, what are you thinking? What are you doing?
But-
You got to be better than that?
But Skip, then he can say this, but he controls the ball. He has the ball. Kyrie misses the offense is not flowing. Guess who brings the ball up? LeBron. The offense runs through LeBron. He'll go he'll go post up at the high post. They get it to him. Okay, now let me face you up. I'm gonna kick it to the corner. Hey, come here, Tristan. Come here, Kevin. Let's sit. Hey, pick it, Shannon Fry. I just don't see it.
And when LeBron needs a shot made and he knows it has to be made, he makes sure Kyrie takes that shot.
Oh, Skip, stop it. See,
That's coaching. That's good coaching. You know it and I know it.
Skip, you're such a hater.
The only thing that would worry me is the only time we've seen LeBron fail, he's had an actual ability to control it because he's on the court. And could you imagine having to fire LeBron James for not being a good coach?
Well,
you want that responsibility?
Remember Michael when he was the GM and he got fired? That's probably the lowest he's ever felt.
Yeah,
because
LeBron would be the first owner coach, right?
Exactly. Just do it all.
I see owner in his future. I don't see coaching or general manager
For sure.
in his future.
Coming up, who is the NFL MVP right now? Rob Parker joins us to debate that next.